Welcome to Quiz Time. I'm your quiz master, Sean, and I've got 100 questions for you. And these are hard questions. Are you ready? Is your brain strapped in? Let's have some fun and see just how difficult this really is. Question number 1. What is the literal meaning of les fauves? The wild beasts, the wild birds, or the wild creatures? The literal meaning of les fauves is the wild beasts. In which sport is Barani a technique? Martial arts, trampolining, or swimming? Barani. That would be trampolining. What color does gold leaf appear if you hold it up to the light? Is it green, yellow, or white? Gold leaf appears in the light as green. True or false? Grimaldi is the name of the ruling dynasty of Monaco. Is that true or is that false? And that is true. What is the capital city of Paraguay? Pilar, San Lorenzo, or Asuncion? The capital city of Paraguay. And that would be Asuncion. Who collaborated with Karl Marx to produce the Communist Manifesto? Mikhail Gorbachev, Friedrich Engels, or Konstantin Chernenko? And that was Friedrich Engels. Which instrument is associated with Earl Bud Powell? The piano, the guitar, or the flute? Associated with Bud Powell would be the piano. In which branch of the arts is Katherine Dunham famous? Literature, opera, or ballet? And she is famous for ballet. Which architect designed the Woolworth Building in New York City? Charles Gwathmey, Gilbert Cass, or Michael Graves? And the Woolworth Building in New York City was designed by Gilbert Cass. Hamilton Kindley Field International Airport is in which country? And you'll find that airport in Bermuda. In which country is a Trois-Rivières Bridge? And you'll find that bridge in Canada. At which hospital did the first heart transplant take place? Groot Schuur Hospital, Brigham Hospital, or Christian Barnard? And that hospital was Groot Schuur Hospital. Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie co-created which operating system? Unix, Linux, or iOS? They co-created the operating system Unix. Who was murdered along with O.J. Simpson's estranged wife, Nicole? Brian Kalin, Ronald Goldman, or Fred Goldman? Ronald Goldman. The girl in the polka dot dress was an eyewitness in whose assassination? Abraham Lincoln, Robert F. Kennedy, or Martin Luther King Jr.? He was a witness to the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. From 1919 to 1933, the Weimar Republic was the government of what nation? Russia, Belgium, or Germany? That would be Germany. A crepuscular animal becomes active at what time? Dusk, dawn, or at midnight? And such an animal becomes active at dusk. What were the earliest forms of contraceptive made from? Crocodile dung, goat dung, or beetle dung? And that would be crocodile dung. Yeesh. Which was the only painting sold by Vincent van Gogh during his life? The only painting sold by Vincent van Gogh. Guess he sold only one. And that one he sold was The Red Vineyards near Arles. Who was the only British pope ever? Pope Benedict XV, Pope Paul VI, or Pope Adrian IV? The only British pope. Pope Adrian IV. That's right, there was a British pope. Which was the first movie to be rated PG-13? The Flamingo Kid, Red Dawn, or The Split? The first movie to be rated PG-13 was Red Dawn. What location served as a setting for many of John Hughes' movies? And that setting was Shermer, Illinois. In 1547, who became the first Tsar of Russia? Theodore III, Ivan IV, or Alexei I? That would be Ivan IV. Who was the first person to suggest daylight savings time? Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, or George Washington? The first person to suggest daylight savings time was Benjamin Franklin. Which Scottish poet's works inspired the book titled Of Mice and Men? Thomas Campbell, Walter Scott, or Robert Burns? And that was Robert Burns. True or false? In Swedish, a skavator is a rabbit with wings. Well, that does sound silly, doesn't it? But it's true. Which athlete lit the cauldron and won a gold medal at the 2002 Olympic Games? Kathy Freeman, Rafer Johnson, or Fritz Schilgen? And that was Kathy Freeman. If you order merg from the menu at an Indian restaurant, what meat will you get? Pork, chicken, or lamb? You order merg from an Indian restaurant, you're going to get chicken. Kirsty Kaljulaid was elected to lead which country? Belarus, Kosovo, or Estonia? That would be Estonia. What geothermal Icelandic site has the same name as a 1980 movie? And let's see, that's Icelandic site would be the Blue Lagoon. Among land animals, what species has the largest eyes? The ostrich, the lemur, or the chameleon? Let's see, of those three species, the largest is the ostrich. Humphrey Bogart won his only Oscar for which motion picture? The Harder They Fall, The African Queen, or The Desperate Hours? He won his only Oscar for The African Queen. Which historical figure was assassinated near the Miljacka River in 1914? Archduke Franz Ferdinand, William McKinley, or Mahatma Gandhi? And that would be Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Name the first film directed by a woman to gross over $100 million at the box office. Lost in Translation, Big, or The Hurt Locker? And that would be Big. So far, which continent has hosted the Olympics the most times? Asia, the United States, or Europe? And that would be Europe. In which country would you find sati, a type of beer flavored with juniper? Poland, Finland, or Austria? You'd find that in Finland. Napoleon suffered defeat at Waterloo in what year? 1815, 1821, or 1835? Napoleon was defeated at Waterloo in 1815. In 1612, who became the first person to observe the planet Neptune? Johannes Kepler, Galileo Galilei, or William Herschel? In 1612, that would be Galileo Galilei. What is the world's most venomous fish? The dator, the lionfish, or the stonefish? The world's most venomous fish? The stonefish. But it's still edible, right? What was the bloodiest battle of the American Civil War? Chickamauga, Gettysburg, or Antietam? The bloodiest battle of the American Civil War was at Gettysburg. Emetophobia is the fear of what? Vomit, feces, or earwax? Emetophobia is the fear of vomit. What insect has the shortest lifespan? Not a multiple choice. You just have to know it. Insect with the shortest lifespan is mayflies. The surface area of Earth is about how many square miles? 158.4 million miles squared, 213.6 million miles squared, or 196.9 million miles squared? The surface area of the Earth is 196.9 million miles squared. What sea is next to Saudi Arabia? The sea that's next to Saudi Arabia is the Red Sea. Who wrote Around the World in 80 Days? Anatole France, Jules Verne, or Guy de Maupassant? And that was written by Jules Verne. John Wesley founded what Christian denomination in 1738? Let's see. John Wesley founded the Methodist Church. Who discovered the importance of washing hands while studying maternity wards? Robert Baronet, Hans Selye, or Ignaz Semmelweis? And that was Ignaz Semmelweis. In 2018, a bag of 27 what was discovered by a fisherman in Siberia? Human hands, human feet, or human heads? He discovered a bag of 27 human hands. Wouldn't think it'd be an odd number, would you? In the Gilded Age, who is called the Witch of Wall Street? Hetty Green, Eliza Pinckney, or Sarah Hawley? The Witch of Wall Street, Hetty Green. Name the 12-foot-tall flightless bird of New Zealand that became extinct 500 years ago. 12-foot-tall flightless bird. Only 500 years ago? That would be the moa. What famous actress once tried to hire a hitman to kill her? Sharon Stone, Rachel Bilson, or Angelina Jolie? That was Angelina Jolie. Which bird has the largest wingspan of any living bird? The pelican, the albatross, or the swan? The largest wingspan of any living bird is the albatross. Which creature produces gossamer? A spider, a pigeon, or a hyena? Gossamer is produced by spiders. What are a group of hippos referred to as? A group of hippos. Just so you know, we call a group of hippos a bloat. That's right, use that in a sentence today. Which is the only king in a deck of cards without a mustache? The king of diamonds, the king of spades, or the king of hearts? One of those kings does not have a mustache. The king of hearts. Oh yeah, I'm going to go check it out in my own deck of cards. Who was the first Time Magazine Man of the Year? Walter Chrysler, Charles Lindbergh, or Owen Young? Time Magazine's first Man of the Year. That was Charles Lindbergh. What are the two stone lions' names in front of the New York Public Library? Patience and Fortitude, the Lotus Lions, or Lady Astor and Lord Lennox? They're named Patience and Fortitude. Who was the first explorer to reach the North Pole? Fridtjof Nansen, Roald Amundsen, or Robert Peary? And it was Robert Peary. What is the little dot above a lowercase I or J called? That's right, it has a name. That little I, little dot, is called a tittle. Which poison do apple seeds contain? Thallium, botulinum, or cyanide? Apple seeds. They contain cyanide. Who won the first Nobel Prize for Medicine? Shinya Yamanaka, Emil von Behring, or Sidney Brenner? The first Nobel Prize for Medicine was won by Emil von Behring. Who was on the highest denomination bill ever printed in the U.S. of $100,000? President Ronald Reagan, President Calvin Coolidge, or President Woodrow Wilson? And that was President Woodrow Wilson. On the periodic table, which element has an atomic weight of 1.00794? Hydrogen, helium, or sodium? And that would be hydrogen. What is the largest religious monument in the world located in Cambodia? Preah Khan, the Bayong, or Angkor Wat? And that would be Angkor Wat. In celebration of Google's 30th birthday in 2010, which playable version arcade game was placed on their homepage? And that was Pac-Man. Love Pac-Man. The Treaty of Ghent was the peace treaty that ended which war? The War of 1812, the Napoleonic War, or the Paraguayan War? The Treaty of Ghent put an end to the War of 1812. What was the name of the pig leader in George Orwell's Animal Farm? Mr. Pinkleton, Napoleon, or Old Major? And that pig's name was Napoleon. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, and Amy Winehouse all died at what age? 27, 31, or 24? They all died at 27 years of age. What does the E stand for in the name of the American restaurant chain Chuck E. Cheese? Chuck Entertainment Cheese. The album Bleach was a debut studio album by what rock band? Mudhoney, Alice in Chains, or Nirvana? And that was the debut studio album of Nirvana. Sinhala and Tamil are the official languages of which island nation? Cape Verde, Sri Lanka, or Barbados? And those two languages are the official languages of Sri Lanka. After Boardwalk and Park Place, what is the next most expensive property in the game Monopoly? Pennsylvania Avenue. Which planet has moons that are nearly all named after Shakespearean characters? Uranus, Saturn, or Jupiter? Nearly all the named after Shakespearean characters. That would be Uranus. What Italian sculptor or architect is credited with creating the Baroque style? John Bernini, Antonio Sant'Elia, or Renato de Fusco? Italian sculptor and architect, John Bernini. Who wrote Flowers for Algernon? Let's see. That was written by Daniel Keyes. In 1952, the United States Air Force created Project Blue Book to study what? Computers, military history, or UFOs? Project Blue Book was to study UFOs. Ambergris is a substance that originates as a secretion from what aquatic animal? The blue whale, the sperm whale, or the whale shark? And that comes from the sperm whale. In 1917, Finland declared its independence from which country? In 1917, Finland declared its independence from Russia. Peter and the Wolf is a musical written by which Russian composer? Sergei Prokofiev, Igor Stravinsky, or Alexander Glazunov? And that'd be Sergei Prokofiev. In the human body, what is the hallux? The earlobe, the thumb, or the big toe? And that would be the big toe. At the time of his assassination, what play was Abraham Lincoln watching? Masks and Faces, Our American Cousin, or The Octoroon? And he was watching Our American Cousin. The red supergiant star, Betelgeuse, belongs to which constellation? What constellation is Betelgeuse in? That would be Orion the Hunter. Where was Richard Nixon when he delivered his "I am not a crook" speech? Disney World, Universal Studios, or SeaWorld? He was at Disney World. In 1982, who was the youngest person ever to host Saturday Night Live? Jodie Foster, Drew Barrymore, or Taylor Lautner? And the youngest person ever to host SNL was Drew Barrymore. A la crazy describes a dish that is made or garnished with what? Carrots, cabbage, or spinach? And that's a dish made with carrots. Which two countries are connected by the Karakoram Pass? And that would be China and India. What is the only country that displays the Bible on its national flag? Egypt, Israel, or the Dominican Republic? And that would be the Dominican Republic. True or false? Alexander the Great's horse was named Bianca. Is that true or is that false? Alexander the Great's horse? That's false. The horse was named Bucephalus. CBGB, which is the former infamous New York Music Club, stands for what? CBGB. That stands for country, bluegrass, and blues. Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona meet at what U.S. landmark? The Jefferson Memorial, the Four Corners Monument, or Devil's Tower? And all four of those states meet at the Four Corners Monument. The ancient Egyptian symbol Ouroboros depicts a serpent eating what? Piglets, its own tail, or its own offspring? Ouroboros. That's a snake eating its own tail. China's terracotta army includes the soldiers of what emperor? The Qin dynasty, Gengshi, or Qin Shi Huang? And that depicts soldiers of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. In Olympic archery, what is the distance between a target from the archer? 100 meters, 80 meters, or 70 meters? And that would be 70 meters. What igneous rock has a density less than water? Pumice, felsic, or aphanitic? And that would be pumice. Who patented the concept of a flat engine in 1896? Flat engine. And that would be Carl Benz. Who was the cartoonist behind the Far Side Gallery? Charles Schulz, Gary Larson, or Matt Groening? And that cartoonist was Gary Larson. What is the name of Donald Duck's sister? Is she Della Duck, Daisy Duck, or Daffy Duck? And Donald Duck's sister is Della Duck. Which U.S. state has the motto, "Live free or die," on their license plate? Delaware, Maine, or New Hampshire? Live free or die, that's the motto of New Hampshire. Sidney Carton is a central character in what Charles Dickens novel? Oliver Twist, A Tale of Two Cities, or Hard Times? Sidney Carton. And he's in A Tale of Two Cities. The aardvark is native to which continent? The aardvark is native to Africa. And that is question 100. Thanks for playing Quiz Time. Don't forget to put your score in the comments section. And like, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you don't miss any more quiz times. You don't want to miss out on these. They're fun. Thanks for playing. Bye-bye.